Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid to late July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancerians in mid to late July? It is still Cancer season, my good friends. Let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer mid to late July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? We're going to have some fun today, my friends. And while we get this card out, I just want to once again wish you all a very happy birthday. We're on the tail end of Cancer season. So if you're on that Cancer Leo cusp, I really hope you have a great birthday, my friends. All right, cool. So the first card out is the Femme Fatale. I think I saw this possibly in the Aquarius reading this week. And this card does not come out often, and I like this card for a lot of reasons. But it's also a card that encourages a little bit of caution, like better safe than sorry type of vibes. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check it out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as we can see, there is this lovely lady here all dressed in red, right? There's a red bird next to her. She's holding on to that red rose. And even down here along the bottom, you see these Venus flytraps, right? So when I see this card, there's a certain alluring energy to it. So for Cancers that may be refraining from something or trying to practice restraint, this card can represent temptation. It does have that beautiful dynamic where it's like, all right, we have something that's very beautiful and very alluring. There's a little bit of danger to it, right? Like the rose has a thorn. Like it looks good, it smells good, but you could make yourself bleed with it. Venus flytraps, they secrete a sweet smelling nectar of sorts that attracts things to it. So there's good energy here, but there's also this caution that Spirit's like, okay, that might look good, but just play it easy, play it cool when this card is here. Now, aside from that, I do link her to a similar vibe of the Queen of Wands, and that's the one thing I really like about the Femme Fatale is that she's also very confident, beautiful. So for a lot of Cancers in this time, you might be finding yourself filled with a certain confidence, right? So just be cautious whenever she shows up. So we're just gonna let her chill over there. I'm gonna give her plenty of space. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. And mid to late July, we're at the tail end of Cancer season. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was some pretty good energy last week. The reading was titled Exciting News Incoming. Now, that could have been for a whole bunch of different things, whether interpersonal, work-related, you name it. To me, it just felt like a conversation that I was very happy to have or something that was extremely encouraging. So just know that that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you. Because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my beautiful Cancer friends. What do we have? In mid to late July. Thank you. Okay. All right. These energies are total opposites. Okay. So we start off with this very chill, relaxed 7 of Pentacles. I like this quite a bit. It's patient. It's like kind of in waiting mode. And we got the 8 of Swords right next to it. They came out together. And you'll see what I mean when I get into the deeper aspects of the cards, that they're completely opposite from each other. Let's get one more. One more here for Cancer. Okay, 9 of Cups. Cool. This could be a good result in the end. So I'm cautiously optimistic about what I'm seeing here, my good friends. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that builds a foundation for us and paints a nice picture and tells us how the energy could flow. And you have a pretty good mixture this week. We have earth, air, and water. The water and earth are both elements that Cancers are very comfortable with. So I think the only friction point might be there in the center. Now, when it comes to the earth element, I always say that it represents results. It represents stability and security, whether it's internal or external. I think of day to day routine. I think of, yeah, every day at this time I do this. It could be money, work, business, finance, home, and family. So all the earthly aspects that we live amongst, right? The only downside to Earth is that it's a very slow mover, if it's even moving at all. Sometimes it could be a very stubborn energy. So that's something we need to watch out for. In the center, we have air, total opposite of Earth. Whereas Earth is very predictable, air is always moving, and it does deal with the mind, right? Like when I look at air, I think of a very logical, pragmatic approach. It's strategic, it's highly intelligent. It could talk about a thirst for knowledge and research. So that's a big thing with the swords. It's about giving or receiving information, and that's why that's the suit of conversation. But it does deal heavily with perspective and mindset. The only downside to air is that it can lead us to overthink, be in our minds a little bit too much, think something into the ground. It could also be cold and detached. On the back end, we have water. That is your power element. That is your comfort zone. And this is much softer than the energy in the center. Whereas this one is the mind. It's very logical. It's all about the facts. The water is about feelings, emotion, intuition. It's a very soft, subtle, sentimental type of energy. It could deal with partnerships. It could deal with anything, situation, person that we are emotionally invested in, things that we care about. It could be creativity, artistic expression, all that great stuff. The only downside to water is that it's always moving, right? Like the tides, it ebbs and flows, it comes in waves. So, with all these different energies, just watch out for a wave of this and a wave of that and then a wave of this. They feel very distinct. So, for some cancers, maybe certain areas are going great, others, there might be a little stress. Let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, Seven of Pentacles. We spoke about the earthy energy, and we see this person there. He's just chilling, right? You see him, he's standing there next to the pentacle bush. He's just waiting around. So this could represent someone in wait and see mode. So for some cancers, maybe you're treating a situation like that, where it's like, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Let's wait and see how this goes. It's a card about patience. Now, normally I do like this card because it does represent something paying off in the end, right? This person's sitting there waiting for those pentacles to fully ripen before he harvests them. So I like it for patience. It's also a card that does connect and deal with like nature, um, gardening literally. So we're not going to get into all the little fine details. I usually like this card. Another little aspect about the Seven of Pentacles is that it's a card that is karmic in nature too, of reaping what you sow. You put forth and then you get it back. You put an energy out and then it boomerangs back around. So we want to keep an eye on this for sure. The big downside to the Seven of Pentacles, sometimes it could be an energy that's feeling impatient, or it's like I'm tired of waiting, or I feel stuck. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Eight of Swords. Not so patient, right? We see this lady. She's surrounded by the sword. She is blindfolded, hoodwinked. This is a card that can sometimes feel cornered. Sometimes it's an energy that could feel like it's between a rock and a hard place when we look at the classical expression of it. It does deal heavily with perspective and mindset, though. So, again, the overthinking, the stress, the anxiety, whereas this one's cool, calm, and content. That one's cool, calm, and content. This one's a little amped up, it's a little hyped up. So it's very important to give yourself a mental vacation when this card is here. The good thing about the Eight of Swords, aside from like this stress energy, or it could be a situation or a problem, is that it moves through rather quickly, right? So we have a very slow moving energy, then we have a quick one where it's like a blip on the radar, right? It's like instead of having a bad day, it's like having a bad hour and then right back to normal. So I think it can be okay. This energy could also feel very liberating sometimes. So for some cancers, there could be certain things or situations where you feel like the weight is coming off your shoulders. And then moving to the back end, we have one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. We have the Nine of Cups. And look at this guy right here. I always call him the John Travolta lookalike. He's sitting there. He's got 9 cups. He's happy. He's content. This is a card of wish fulfillment, wins, and victories. So it's great. It does tie into similar energy to what I saw last week. So I think it's fantastic. It's an energy that's letting loose. It's an energy that's having fun. It's an energy that's relaxing. So for some cancers, that might be advice, like enjoy yourself. This energy is super welcoming, where it's like, hey, come in. I have plenty of cups. Do you want one? So I love it for that. The only downsides to the Nine of Cups is that it's an energy that can overdo it. It can overindulge. So again, if there's certain things you're refraining from, if there's certain habits you're trying to curb, the Nine of Cups can be very, very tempting. And it could also sometimes represent someone that's being a little too nice. But I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Seven of Pentacles. Let's see what he's waiting around for. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to get to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Seven of Pentacles here? Quick. Okay. It seems like it's taken a little bit of a break. All right, I think that's good. I mean, the Ten of Wands in reverse. Now, one thing about the Ten of Wands, we see that person there. They have that big old bundle of sticks. Usually they're depicted walking up a hill. So to me, it is an energy that can feel drained. It could feel zapped. It's a burden, right? And that's the rough side of it, whether it's mind, emotion, spiritual, like there's just a heavy weight. So just again, watch out for any situations, important or serious situations when this is here, because there could be something significant when I see the Ten of Wands. It's not just a flighty energy like the Eight of Swords. It's like, all right, I'm dealing with something significant here. However, the fact that it's in reverse is actually really good, because that tells me that time is going to help whatever this situation is. And I don't want to be cliche and say, oh, time heals all wounds. I mean, there is wisdom to it. So, like when I see the Seven of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands in reverse, it's like, let me take a breather. It's like going on a hike, getting tired, and sitting down to drink a little bit of water for a minute before you continue your journey. There is like this energy where it's like resting, recuperating, taking a break. So, again, if you're dealing with any situations where you're feeling drained, you're feeling zapped, you've been at something for a long time, there's nothing wrong with taking a pause. That's how this feels to me. So we're going to keep moving. Yeah, Ten of Wands in reverse is good. I remember I said the Eight of Swords could be like a weight coming off the shoulders. The same thing with the Ten of Wands in reverse. It's like a weight coming off the shoulders. But we're just going to keep moving. We're going to see. Yeah, because we still have two very distinct energies to read through. But let's go in on that Eight of Swords. Yeah, it's definitely an energy that's like taking a break, taking a rest, could even be like taking a little vacation, my friends. So let's see what's up with that Eight of Swords. It's taking a load off. So why is that Eight of Swords here? Okay. Okay. Why are these tens in reverse? Okay, so the reason I'm finding this, I don't want to say peculiar, uh, intriguing we'll go with, is that tens usually represent the close of a cycle, right? Like when you look at the numerology and of tarot and how the numbers work, tens are the last of the suit before we get into the court cards, and they usually represent something closed up. Um, in reverse, to me, both of them, especially right next to each other, 10 reverse, 10 reverse, that does feel like unfinished business to me, or an unfinished situation. Now, I have been seeing that for a few other zodiac signs throughout the past few weeks, more so than usual. But Eight of Swords, Ten of Cups in reverse, this energy does feel a little unsettled to me. So again, yeah, maybe there is a situation or something you're working through or something you're dealing with that makes you feel unsettled in this time. I'm still hoping that we have this silver lining, and I think we're going to. But aside from that, those feelings that we were talking about with this in reverse and the other 10 in reverse right next to it, there does seem to feel like something that's not quite done, that's not quite finished. So for you, what is it you feeling like your journey isn't complete? We already had this one where it's like, oh, I'm just taking a rest, taking a break, a little pause. With the Eight of Swords and the 10 of Cups in reverse, it's like, no, there's still more I want to do here. There's still more I want to accomplish. So it feels like unfinished business or an unfinished situation. It feels open ended. So even if you are dealing with something that seems like, oh, well, that's done, that's over, that chapter's closed, maybe not so much, maybe not as closed as you think. We're going to keep going. We're going to see what's up with the Nine of Cups, because I've been really drawn to that Nine of Cups since it popped out, right? Because these energies are different yet the same. But yeah, watch out for lingering unfinished business or unfinished situations that might be on your mind or in your energy. So why is the Nine of Cups here, please? Okay. Yeah, that's good. Not done yet. Not done yet. All right, so we have the Ten of Swords in reverse again. So how often does that happen, my friends? And I only read 6 card spreads. I can't recall in my mind. And I've done thousands of readings on YouTube and thousands upon thousands of personal readings over the years. I can't recall the last time I saw a 10, 10, 10 all in reverse underneath it. That's almost unheard of. Like, the mathematics behind that must be wild for that to come out randomly. But what do we know about the Ten of Swords? It represents endings, right? Usually it's rough and tough. It could represent pain and difficult times, difficult chapters. I like it best in reverse because underneath the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Swords in reverse is like, I'm feeling better. This is an energy that is like healing, progressing, making improvements to me, where it's like, all right, the worst of it's over here. So there could have been something you've dealt with or something you are dealing with where it's like, hey, you're already through the worst of it. The worst of the storm has passed. And again, with the 10, 10, 10 in reverse, watch out for signs, synchronicities. Spirit could be trying to encourage you with these omens and signs or directing you. But the fact that it's in reverse under a beautiful card like the Nine of Cups, not only do we have the unfinished business, we have the payoff in the end, where it's like, all right, the road wasn't easy, but I'm happy I traveled it. That's how this feels to me. The road was not easy the whole way, but I'm happy I traveled it. And it's like, this journey is not complete. This journey is not done. That's how this is feeling to me, my friends. It's a very strong message this week. So again, maybe this is for someone you're connected to, but I like it, even though like we got some cards that are like, there's a lot of really great energy too. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, a lot of similarities and differences this week. But position number one, we have the Seven of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands in reverse underneath it. To me, it felt like taking a break, taking a rest, um, recharging the batteries, where it's like, all right, I've been on this road for a while. Let me take a pit stop. That's how this feels. It's an energy that's just resting. Moving to the center, we have the Eight of Swords, a little stressed, a little trapped. The Ten of Cups in reverse underneath it, the double tens in reverse underneath. To me, that can feel a little unsettled, where it's like, I don't feel too comfortable with this. But at the same time, it feels like, but I don't feel like it's done. I don't feel like something's complete. And then even going on to the back end, it tells us the same. We have the Nine of Cups with the Ten of Swords in reverse, where it's like, no, this is still open ended. There is something that might not be as complete as you think. I do like the payoff in the end too. So the road is not easy, but it is worth it. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one here. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get it going here. What do we got for Cancer? What do we got for Cancer? Okay, Nine of Wands. I really thought we were going to get another 10, but we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. Who is this? It's the Wounded Warrior, and it does fit into a lot of the themes and similarities we were seeing within this spread, specifically this one and back here. Now, this is usually the picture of the guy. He has built a wall, bandage around the head. It represents wisdom through experience. In the positive sense, this is a card of protectiveness, feeling territorial, um, protecting oneself. So we do have that cautious energy that we had in the very beginning when this card shows up too. But what else do we know about the Nine of Wands? It is an energy that is progressing, healing, watching out for itself. So again, I like the direction the energy is going in, but this could also be Spirit saying like, hey, play it safe. There could be something where it's like, just play it safe with this and keep moving in the right direction, because this card does have a cautionary vibe to it as well. But I do like that it has the healing overtone and undertone connected to it that ties it in with the rest of the reading. So we're just going to put him down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The July calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the July subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, I will choose 3 lucky winners to either choose a copy of the Gilded Tarot Royale, which is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's a must-have, or a handmade pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in today's reading, which one spoke to you the most, or jumped out to you the most, or resonated with you. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.